Welcome to another episode of Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Grace Dulion.
And I'm Jenny Jordan. Sports on the Plains are starting to come to an end. Gymnastics and equestrian are the latest teams to finish their season.
Auburn Gymnastics traveled to Fort Worth this past week to compete in nationals. On Thursday, the team competed in the Elite Eight against Florida, Michigan, and Missouri. The Tigers finished with a score of 197.8375, which was enough to boost them into their first Final Four in program history.
Suni Lee walked away from the meet a national champion in the individual beam category. Her score of 9.9625 was best of all 55 gymnasts at the competition. Here's Suni Lee on her performance on beam.
It means a lot, especially for beam, because in the past couple of meets I was struggling on beam, so to kind of come back and just build that confidence again means a lot. Yeah, I guess you would say so, just because we kind of build off of each other, so just watching everyone go up there and hit confidently definitely helped me kind of calm myself, because I did have to wait a little bit before my beam routine, so I was kind of panicking. But to have just to know that we had all those good scores before I had to go, it helped me. And then I feel like the rest of the meet, we just started off so fast, and it definitely was relieving.
On Saturday, Auburn competed in their first ever Final Four. The Tigers finished in 4th place, the best placement of any Auburn team in history. Here's head coach Jeff Graba on Auburn's performance in finals.
Just really proud of the team. We're in an area that we have not been before, and in many years never been to the Final Four, and we're really young. So I was really happy with the way they reacted. The other three teams that were here tonight were here a year ago and knew exactly what they were in for. And those other three teams have 18 national championships between them, and we're all ranked in the top 4 at the preseason poll. We have 3 appearances in the finals, counting this one, and we were ranked 14th in the preseason. So I'd say we proved some people wrong. So just really happy with our performance. Well, before this year, 48 years of our program, we've had 197 in the postseason. We did 4 this year. We did 5 if you count SECs. So I think this team has just decided the history. We just cut it off and started a new record book. So it almost took that, because I really feel like you almost have to quit carrying along all the baggage that people believe that you're not capable of this. And we went to the Final Four and scored higher than we'd ever scored in the postseason in the history of the program. That's pretty good. Well, I'm really excited not to talk about experience now. I mean, we have a lot of people who can spend, experience. It isn't just your final meet. It isn't just whoa, what's this meet like? It's the whole preseason. It's how you train to get here. It's what you put up with and what you tolerate on the way here, not just as coaches and athletes and workouts. It's also what athletes tolerate from each other on, is that above the line behavior? Are you doing 20 leg lifts or 19, that type of stuff? It starts back in August and September. It doesn't start the week before the Final Four. So this is a huge benefit for our program. We get to go back and have a little bit of the advantage that these other 3 teams have had on us.
Auburn equestrian traveled to Ocala, Florida to compete in the NCEA National Championships. Holding the 2 seed, Auburn faced SMU in the first round. Auburn went on to lose 8-12. Auburn held a lead going into the halftime, but SMU was able to sweep the final event to move on to the next round. This caps Auburn's 4th straight SEC winning season.
When we come back, we'll talk about the last sports in season, including baseball, softball, tennis, and more. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. Auburn baseball traveled to Starkville to play a series against Mississippi State over the weekend. In the first game, Auburn had the lead before Auburn walked in the winning Bulldog run in the bottom on the 9th when 1 out.
In Game 2, Auburn was down 9-1 going into the 8th inning before they would score 4 runs. The Tigers could not keep the momentum going in the 9th, and the game would end 9-5.
Auburn would steal a game back on Friday, beating the Bulldogs 3-2. Joseph Gonzalez moved to 5-0 on the season. The sophomore pitched 8 innings for the Tigers and only allowed 2 runs.
Auburn came home to the Plains to host Alabama State on Tuesday. The Tigers got the win thanks to some late-game heroics, scoring a run in the 9th to force extra innings and scoring again in the 10th inning to walk it off. Nate LaRue had the game-winning hit, which was a single to the left field that brought in Brooks Carlson.
Auburn softball won both games of a doubleheader against Niagara on Friday. In Game 1, the Tigers beat Niagara in 6 innings by a score of 8-0. Most of the scoring came from in the 2nd inning when Bree Ellis hit a homer to center field.
In Game 2, the Tigers took care of business, defeating Niagara 15-7 in just 5 innings. KK Dismukes got the start in both games and brings her record on the year to 4-2.
On Tuesday, the Tigers hosted Jacksonville State. Maddie Pinta got her 20th win of the season, defeating JSU 9-1.
Both men's and women's tennis wrapped up their regular season over the weekend. The women's team closed out the year on a 3-game win streak with 2 coming this weekend. The number 12 Tigers took down Tennessee and former number 10 Georgia. Auburn defeated Tennessee 6-1 and Georgia 4-3. The women's SEC tennis tournament begins on Wednesday, and Auburn is the 2 seed and has a double bye and will play on Friday at 6 p.m.
The men's team did not finish on the same note as the women's team, losing their last 2 games against Georgia and Tennessee, 3-4 and 1-6 respectively. The Tigers hold the 7th seed and will face off against the Ole Miss Rebels on Thursday at 11 a.m.
The Auburn women's golf team made it to their 3rd straight SEC semifinals, where they fell to Florida 2-3. This comes after Auburn finished in first of stroke play of the SEC tournament, and Megan Schofield finished in 2nd place individually. The men's team will compete in the SEC championships starting today and going through Sunday.
When we come back, we'll talk about Auburn in the NBA. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. Isaac Okoro and the Cleveland Cavaliers season has come to an end after back-to-back losses in their NBA playing games. Against the Nets, Okoro had an assist and a rebound. Okoro followed that up with 6 points and 5 rebounds in what would be the Cavs' last game of the season.
Sharif Cooper and Jared Harper's teams both are playing in the first round of the NBA playoffs, but neither is currently on active roster. Cooper's Hawks are down 2 games to none to the Heat, while Harper's Pelicans are tied 1-1 with the Suns.
For more information on Auburn athletics, be sure to check out our website at eagleeyeauburn.com and stay up to date on all things Auburn sports on our Twitter at EETV_sports. I'm Grace Dullion.
And I'm Jenny Jordan. Thank you for watching. Good night and more Eagle.